What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Digi-Bros Podcast. I know it's been a while, but this is our first podcast of 2023. So, welcome. I'm excited. Of course, I already forgot. I'm David Pearson,
I'm Eric.
and yeah, we're the Digi-Bros. I'm
Very inconsistent.
yeah,
But
your most inconsistent podcasters, but we are happy to be doing this.
yeah, I mean, again, as we always say, don't expect us to be consistent. You're very busy. I'm very busy. I think we can just do a brief rundown of what we've been up to since the last podcast and then just kind of dive into this year's stuff. So, we were working with Austin on the film. Turned out really great. I think the last thing we mentioned is how we were going to do the interview portion. We did that here, moved all of this stuff, cleaned it out.
We rearranged that.
Because we were like, well, we don't really have any studio to work with. Let's just do it here. Used the Rode mic, really nice quality. I don't know if you've seen the series I've been doing with that mic, where I mic up the models for like Instagram and TikTok. I put the little. I love that series. It's a lot of fun because you get all the funny moments.
Right.
Like as we mentioned, we got to do them with you and John. I think that's gonna be very funny because you guys need to see how our shoots go down. That's like the whole process because I want people to see how my shoots are.
They're pretty fun, yeah, and like it just makes it more like personable too, and like because like you could see a bunch of like photographers and like videographers too, and like you can see their content like on Instagram and on TikTok and all that, and it's just like, oh, like look at this cool video or look at this cool photo shoot,
Yeah.
but like having like your clients like mic'd up and stuff, it really like creates like a connection, I would say, and that's kind of cool to see, you know.
And what I noticed from like, especially when I'm editing these and getting ready to post them, it feels like, especially with it being just like a handheld camera, it feels like the person's there. Like from the viewer's perspective, it feels like you're there on the shoot, just watching your friend or whoever get photographed. It's really cool, and I feel like again, it just shows like the realness of the shoots because, as you mentioned, yeah, you can see all these photos and videos. Oh, like, this is cool, but then they wonder, okay, I booked him, but what's it going to be like working with him? Whereas, oh, you can go on my Instagram. Oh, whoa, so this is what it's like. Okay, like then they can understand. Oh, his shoots are like really just like relaxed. Because I feel like a lot of people, they think, oh, like I got this photo shoot, then they get all nervous and stressed out. Like just about every grad shoot I do, they always mention how, oh, I thought this was going to be like really like, I was being really nervous and I was really stressed for this. And I'm like, no, like it's like, sure, like this is like graduation, big deal, whatever. But like, have fun. We're just taking photos at the end of the day. Like, the only time I feel like it'd be reasonable to be like stressed would be like maybe like a wedding shoot, because you know you want your weddings to be perfect, but like that's not what we're doing here. So let's calm down a little bit. And since last podcast, just closed out the year with doing grad photos for fall grads, and then got published in 2 magazines here, both some smaller ones. We got this one right here. This is the first one. We have, let me see if I can find it. I think we had like 1 feature in this one. And it was actually interesting with this magazine. So my go-to model friend Jazzy, they had like tagged her on their story how they liked her work, and I reached out to her and I was like, yo, that'd be cool, like if we can submit stuff and get published. These 2 right here, these are from like our first 2 shoots. Pretty cool. This is from like summer of last year. And I was like, oh, that'd be really cool if we can get featured. And then they actually DM'd me and her, and they're like, hey, we have a spot in the editorial section. If you guys want to be featured, you can.
Question for those of us that don't know, like me, what is the name of this magazine?
This one right here is called Black Cruise. Small, they're not like, both of these magazines aren't like big name magazines, but I was like, well, I want to get published. I want to get my foot into the door into like getting featured in magazines, into fashion, all that stuff. So they had found her, posted her, and I was like, we were going back and forth, and I was like, that'd be really cool. And they had like an open submission, and I DM'd them. I was like, hey, like I see you guys have an open submission. Just to let you know, I'll probably submit our best work within the next few days with my model Jazzy. And they actually said, well, hey, we actually have an editorial spot if you want to submit. I was like, oh, okay. And I submitted, and then like within a few days, they're like, here's what it's gonna look like. You're accepted. And like I was so hyped. Like,
heck yeah, that's sick.
Cause like that was one of my big things. I was always trying to figure out, how do I get published? How do I get published? Like, you remember the photographer Emmy we've had on here? He's been published many times. So I'm always like, how do you get published? And he's like, honestly, it's like you either they find you and they want you, or like you find the right magazine that you think fits your work. And I just feel like I never found it. I'm like, well, I was looking through their stuff, I liked it. And then like literally probably like a few weeks later, this magazine company, I found them as well. A little bit smaller. I don't know how to pronounce
La Modèle. That's how I'm gonna say it.
Yeah.
I took 2 years of French and almost failed my second year. Yeah. I don't know why I was a dummy. I should have just taken Spanish, but Yeah, we out here.
But so with this one, this first one is cool, but I will say I like this one a lot more because I was able to come up with titles for them. So I call this one "Escaping Reality." To me, just like it has like a euphoric type of vibe with like the lights and like the city lights in the background being dark. Really cool. I love this shoot. Really hyped to get it published. Then we had this like streetwear one, kind of going for more of like different like abstract poses and stuff. And then the last one was actually from a photo meet. This is in Folsom. I was like, okay, because they wanted the variety, so like that. And I didn't think they would. I submitted all these because I thought maybe they'll just pick one set. They picked all three, and I was like, whoa, okay, like that's really cool.
Impressive.
So I was really hyped with this. And then another thing I did for the end of the year was
real quick, before we move on. If you're listening and you want to check out, well, I mean, obviously y'all pretty much know his like Instagram, but what is her at? Because
Jazzy?
Yeah.
Oh, got you. I got you guys. It is. Oh wait, did they not? They didn't put in this one, did they? Oh, they did.
I don't know.
It's basically O Jasmine, so like letter O, JASMEEENN. Yeah.
So go give her a follow if you haven't already.
You'll see a lot of my work on there. We do a lot of like collab shoots.
Yeah, exactly. They work together, and they work together really well too. That's what I've been noticing.
And we're looking to have her on the podcast eventually.
Yeah,
we'll figure it all out. We're all pretty busy.
So, yeah, that's just cool.
Yeah, and then another thing, as I was mentioning, that I did at the end of the year was an editing video for your friend Amir. Well, I say he's a friend now. He's cool. I still have yet to meet him though. That's how I realized. I'm like, wait, we've been doing this.
We gotta do. I want to try to get him out here. And do a shoot. Yeah, and like
kind of like the original one.
Yeah, and also I kind of want to have him. I want to write a little short film and have him be like the main character, and you and I direct because he mentioned a little bit of that where he's like, dude, if you have like anything, like I don't mind acting for you. So like that would be kind of cool. But yeah, it's my friend Amir from church, and he's a really good dude, really likable guy, and just has a lot of energy and a lot of passion for this. Like he's just now getting into to film and stuff, and so he just directed his first short film, and
you got some credits for the drone shot.
Yeah, I did.
Nice little drone shot.
I did a little drone shot. And this man carried the editing load.
I did all the editing. It was at first when he came to this idea. At first I was a little overwhelmed, but then he really made it. He simplified everything. Now I told him this I'm like, bro, thank you so much. You don't understand because a lot of people with video projects they say, here's the footage. I want this, 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 and it's like, well, it's hard to tell exactly what you want if you don't really break it down bit by bit. So what he would do, he send the scenes in order, and I say, hey, since like on the phone, you can like clip stuff and shorten it. I'm like, do that. Make it like the clips as long as you want them to be, and then just send me in the order, and I could put that in my timeline. And then like, I do that. Okay, cool. We have that. Okay, then he's like, okay, I want this person's name here. I want this title here. Boom, I sent photos of that. I'm like, okay, what font? And we figure out fonts. Okay, and then he goes on the website for the sound effects, sends me photos of which sound effects he wants. I go on there, I download them, add them. It honestly was a really, really smooth process for the most part. And it was really nice because, like, again, with video projects, I always hear it all the time. People just complain, oh, like all the amount of revisions I had to do and stuff. I'm like, sure, I had to do revisions, but it wasn't like major where they're like, I make an entire thing. They say, actually, I don't like this. Can you redo it?
Right.
But like being able to go like along the way and showing the process along the way made it so much easier. So now I'm like, okay, so if I do future things, because I know me and him are going to do another one. I like that flow of just like bit by bit because, yeah, it was pretty good.
A lot easier, yeah.
Yeah, because that was also while I was just doing a bunch of grad shoots and school in general. It was busy, and then from there, just doing more client stuff, and then just kind of more ideas and stuff, and also just trying to enjoy my winter break because this semester that I started, I just finished week 2, technically starting week 3 today. Very busy, but it is flying by. So I'm like, okay, good, because like. I always feel like I noticed this with school. The first week or so, it sucks because it's like you have to get used to that. Like being on break, it was so nice. Like my routine would be like wake up, walk the dog, go to the gym. Okay, do I have to do a shoot today? Do I have to edit or go to work? Like it was like, I don't know. I really liked that. And then like, then boom, dive into school. And then now every day is just here doing online classes. And I'm like, oh man, like I don't enjoy this. But again, it's going by quick. So I'm not as worried about it. At first I was just like dreading it, but But now I'm like, okay, well, I got into the school, got into Sac State, and then I'm excited about that.
I'm excited for you, dude. That's gonna be cool. Stingers up.
Yeah.
I don't even go to Sac State, bro.
Like, it's just cool because like I've met people that I already know that go there. So then when I go, like I already have like a bit like a I don't know like a not friend group established, but like
A network, bro. Yeah, this dude been networking for the past few years, and actually, I need to help you out too. I know a lot of people that go to Sac State also, so that'll be kind of cool to connect those worlds and everything. So yeah,
and even shout out to you for earlier. We were doing a shoot because I was texting David the other day. I'm like, yo, I haven't shot photos of you in a long time. I think it's been probably like a year, maybe a little less. Because as you guys probably know, seen on Instagram, whatever, David's been my go-to for photos for a while. And then we've both been super busy. And then I'm like, then the business side for me really picked up. So I'm like, okay, if I'm doing shoots, then I'm like client, work, client. So it's been like that. And then I was like, okay, I got this Sunday free. Like, you have it too? Okay, bet, let's go out. And then I'm like, okay, I can practice film. To me, it kind of felt a bit like how when we would first start out. Because, like, as we talked about this in the car, those, like, first few shoots where we both, like, were really new. To, like, you knew with your drone stuff, me knew with just, like, portraits in general. It was, like, fun just to, like, try out stuff. And that's what I was doing with film. Because film, I feel like, is a whole different process with learning. It's a lot more, like, I feel like it's a lot more relaxed. A lot of people talk about this, but it's a lot more slowed down. Because you have to really sit there and think of everything you want within your image. Then you have to wait until you get developed. So the photos will probably not get developed for a few weeks, but like
that's one thing I was telling him too during the shoot. I was like, yeah, like I have to, like, even as a model, like, because I obviously I want these like to come out really well too, and so it's like I can't, just be like, oh, like, can I see like how that turned out, like so I have to be like even more like intentional about like how I'm gonna be posing myself, or if he's asking me to do a certain pose, like how like well I'm gonna do that. So, but even then, like, it's still relaxed, but it's, in my opinion, definitely more intentional, like what you're doing. But it's also really cool to, I enjoyed creating like a sense of motion, because you do like you if you want the picture to like come out really clear, you have to be fairly still. Like your subject has to be still. Um, and so like there's one of the ones where like I was like walking, but like I posed, like I was like mid stride, and that was just kind of fun to do. And kind of working on that kind of stuff is always cool, and just trying new stuff. So
because that's what I was like. Normally, with all my past few film shoots, I'd have someone record it, and I do like the Film Friday series where the models mic'd up and stuff. And I was like, well, I just want to get like that practice in, so then for future episodes, I'm more confident in getting these photos in focus. Because like the last one I did, I had Austin record and I had Jazzy model. There was probably about like 8 photos where they were just very slightly out of focus or very out of focus. So I was like, that's why I'm like, okay, maybe today we can do this. I can get the practice, so then for the future shoots, I can get those right.
Right.
Because I don't know, because I'm trying to decide. I still have a lot of stuff, to edit and stuff, but like, it's deciding, do I really want to put this out there if the photo is not good, or is that real? Because I'm still in the process of like learning film, because that's kind of my point. So that's what I've been trying to decide. Like, do I just show the good photos, or do I show like all of it? So that's just been what I've been working on, and then from there, just kind of getting ready for grad season. Let me just say, guys. Last year, sure, yes, it was busy. It was great. This year, I'm starting in a few weeks. In February, I have a few.
So as far as numbers go, like you don't have to put out specific numbers, but like has your clientele like doubled, tripled, quadrupled, even like on a like scale wise, how much have you grown?
I say doubled for sure. Even like I remember I posted. I think I've done two ads. So I'll do like an ad and it goes like, it just runs on, on Instagram, you get like an ad for every few stories. I ran like 2 of those, and they run for like 6 days. So it's kind of like a small budget, but then eventually as it gets more busy, I'll market more. But within that, I've gained probably like 40 or 50 followers, and majority of them are like Sac State people. And so a lot of them have booked me from it, and they say, oh, I found, like, it's on my website, I have a little thing like, how'd you find me? And they'll always say Instagram ad, Instagram story. And I'm like, okay, cool. So then I know like this ad's working. Let me keep running it.
That's cool.
And like, that's the thing. It's about to be February, and I'm about to start in a few weeks. Last year, I didn't.
I was gonna say, I feel like it was, quite a bit later that you did. Yeah.
I think it's gonna be very busy, but I'm excited and I'm ready for it. Like even with like it's gonna be super busy, just going from like school all day, editing photos, and then boom, head out to do a grad shoot, come back home, edit school. It's gonna be very busy, but I feel like I really enjoy like that constant like go go go. I
Yeah.
think you like that too, where you like to
Yeah.
be busy with it. Cause
Definitely.
like I'll notice like that's the one thing with like my winter break, I'd have a few days here and there where I'm like, okay, I got everything I need to get done. Now what? Because I feel like I feel like I'm always itching to get to do something.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna
Yeah.
lie.
I'm definitely that way too.
And again, just ready for it. But
So
yes,
with
what were you
with
saying?
that, I saw on like your Instagram,
Mhm.
for Eric's photos, you like officially have two
Oh
team
yeah.
members now, to your squad. So tell me a little bit about that.
Okay. So I've had this idea since honestly right after grad season ended. So as I'm doing grad photos, especially during like May, this is peak grad photos. You see all these other photographers out. They look a lot more. They're dressed up. They got like their logos on like their shirt, maybe even like the little carry-ons and camera bags. And I'm thinking, okay, that looks a lot more professional than me just in shorts and a t-shirt. How can I make my business look more professional? So when I'm doing these grad photos, the client, not only the client, but people that are just around, they see, oh wow, that looks like a full-scale business.
Yep. Yep.
And the first thing I thought of, okay, let me like work on me and my team making us all look official. So what I did was went through a few different sites, in manufacturers, and I got custom polos. I'll show you after because I don't want to get up. It's all the way over there. But I have an embroidery, my logo right here on a polo. So then for shoots, I'll be dressed up, have my polo, and then my two assistants, Austin and Jazzy. Austin's been helping me for grad shoots literally since I've started them in like 2021, 2020ish. Just because originally I was like, hey, like I originally was doing grad photos for his friends. So I was like,
Yeah.
okay, you know them, and I think that'll make it more natural because you can get them laughing and all that. And he also knew the campus, and then it led to more of a thing where okay, as I'm getting busy, it really helps to have someone there because he can help carry things. Can help like guide us through the campus. Maybe even just need to just drive me there as well as I'm like going back and forth with the client. That happens a lot.
Yeah.
Where I'm passenger seat as he's driving, we're trying to figure out, oh, where are we meeting? Hey, I'm gonna be these like
Or if
5 minutes
they're
late.
yeah,
Yeah, that happens a
exactly.
lot.
That happens too. Yeah.
And then like as I've been working with my model friend Jazzy, she goes there as well, and like it's been like our notes of the same thing. She's very much like Austin. They're both very social, and they both know that school really well. And she's like, hey, like, yeah, if you have a grad shoot and I'm free, I'm down to help as like be your assistant. Because I know I can't always rely on Austin. He's very busy. He works like 5 days a week, in and out of classes as well. So I was like, okay, Austin, you could be my priority, like assistant. But when you can't do it, I have Jazzy. So it's good for me to always have someone there to help carry things, help guide the people, and also just I feel like just keep the conversations flowing. Because I feel like yes, I'm social, but to an extent, like
Yeah.
they're a lot more social. I feel like they can talk to anyone about anything, and I feel like just having just like that team there, I feel like makes it look a lot more professional.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. It adds some strength, I think, to it
Mhm.
too, because yeah, it's not like alone, like you couldn't do it,
Yeah,
but there is strength in numbers. So
100%.
I think that's really cool that you're doing that.
Thank you. Because I was thinking about that for a while. Like right after grad season, I was instantly thinking, okay, this was successful, but how can I like, do even better? Because that's like the goal is to keep doing better with it.
Right.
Um, and luckily, I'm obviously not going to speak on numbers or anything, but I've been able to like increase rates and have success with that. Because last year I charged a rate was at the time good, just because I didn't have like really like demand.
Right.
But as that demand built up, I realized, oh, I should have probably increased it because I'm kind of working a lot, and like the amount I'm making, I feel like didn't like transition to the amount of hours we're going into editing,
Right.
especially the big thing. My biggest thing is my turnaround time on photos. You know this. I send people their photo galleries within like 2 to 3 days after a shoot,
Yeah.
just because I
for sure.
love being efficient. If I can do a shoot and if I have like 2 hours within a day and I can sit down and edit, I'm gonna do that because I want people to be like, okay, he's like really efficient, and I get that's like my biggest compliment I get through text, email, whatever. Like, wow, I really love the photos. I love how quick your turnaround time is. Like on my website, people say that in my testimonials a lot, so I want to keep that going as well.
And with that, with rates increasing,
Mhm.
um, it's like if you look at yourself back then and you look at yourself now, like you've grown like
Mhm.
in terms of your style, in terms of
Mhm.
your quality and your equipment quality and all of
Yeah.
that, it's gotten higher, so it only makes sense that rates
100%.
would go
Yeah.
up. And I think obviously since you keep getting clients that like people realize that, so
100%. Mhm.
yeah, that's awesome too.
Yeah, it's really good, and like I remember for the longest, I'd always like last year I was really questioning, oh, should I charge this much? Is this too much? And like you like have like family and friends, they'll say like, oh, you're charging too much, but it's like, well, but at the end of the day, I'm the one that knows how much time
Yeah,
goes
yeah,
into it.
you got to know your worth,
Yeah, really 100%.
Know
Also,
your worth, king.
and also the fact of just how expensive gear is.
Yeah.
People don't take into account for this. People always ask this, why do you charge the prices you charge? How come photographers and videographers charge the prices they charge? And I'm like, well, I can break it down for you. So you have the base camera that's usually about 2,000 to 3,000 depending on what you use. You have your lenses; those are about 1,000, maybe 1,500, maybe 2,000 depending on what you're using. Cheapest maybe $900. Like, and then you have the editing software. Those are monthly payments, if not yearly. So that could be anywhere between $20 a month, $30, depending on what you use, right?
Yeah.
And then if you use the business like me, then you have your website. You either do annual payments or monthly payments. And then you also run ads. What I do is so that they'll be like, that's a monthly payment as well. Depending on, then obviously depending on like grad season, that's more. I'm putting more money into running ads. So it's a constant like, and that's the other thing too. I'm not just like charging the prices I charge just to make a quick bag. It's going back.
It's going back into the business. Yeah. You're investing in yourself. Yeah.
So I think that's what people don't really take into account, and it's like you have to kind of have to look at it from that standpoint. So that's when people always ask, I'm like, you gotta just you can't just be like, oh, he's charging a lot because he wants to just make a quick bag. Like, no, it's a business. Like,
yeah.
I feel like that goes for any business as well. Like, I can't think of another business right now. But like with any business, it's like it's not just they're charging you for that price. It's like there's a lot that goes into it. Their time, their equipment, that's the other thing too. Gas. Like I've been thinking about this too. Like, and I'm working on it, especially for grad season. I'm gonna keep a log of how much money is spent on gas, so then I can
and you can factor that into your rate. Yeah.
Yeah, and even also just for in tax season as well. So. It's a busy time, and I'm ready for this grad season.
He's ready. He's ready. Bring on the students. Bring on the graduates. He's ready for grad season.
And then besides that, I mean, school obviously, and then in the summer, I want to get back into doing like photo meets. I think I need to bring you to a photo meet. They're a lot of fun.
I would be down, actually.
It's really cool, and I think it'd be good for you just to like work with some models as well, and just also it's really cool meeting people. Like last week I did a shoot with Jazzy and a photographer Ramon, who we met at our first photo meet we ever went to, and he's just a funny guy, and like the whole shoot is just like we all just like mesh together really well. And what I noticed is like when it's more than one photographer, the ideas are just constantly flowing. It's like when we would work together, the ideas are constantly flowing back and forth. And I'm like, oh, I wouldn't have thought of this if you hadn't mentioned that. Then I mentioned something. Oh, I wouldn't have thought. Then it's like this constant back and forth. And I feel like you build off of each other, and just like the ideas are like really cool. And like, I don't know, having that dynamic's really cool. So definitely got to do more of that. And I think for you too, obviously I know you're busy, but I always think about this. I really want you to like try and like do some video stuff, some photos.
I do. I want to try my hand at low key directing. Like I know I have a camera and everything, and like filming, but I low key want to like almost like hire you like to film, and like I would like direct, even if it's just like you, me, and then like one actor. Like if we get Amir or someone, or Amir and Jazz, or whatever. Just because I enjoy directing, and that was one thing I like found that I enjoyed doing when working with Amir, actually, because I kind of tagged along with him, and yeah, I think it's really fun, and yeah, so I think directing would be kind of cool. Definitely want to film, like try my hand, even maybe if I film and direct, that would be cool. And then of course photography stuff too. Got to learn from this guy. But yeah, no, I'm excited. I think it'll be good.
I think summer is where we can pick back up on some of these ideas, because I know we both mentioned like different video things, the different photo things. We gotta go to the beach
again too,
bro. Yes, but this time all go together, not just have John meet us there.
We had John meet us there because I don't even know why. I think he didn't want to wake up early or something.
Oh, or we were up early. I remember that.
Yeah, I think he had something in
I
the
think
morning. Oh, he had like a workout or something. I think. I don't know. Yeah, it was something. But anyways, my brother, we've said this story many times. So
Yeah.
long story short, he pulled up. Well, the thing is, he didn't pull up until like 6 hours into. We were like had been there like 4 hours already. Yeah, we sandboarded through frisbee. Yeah, we met up with my other brother.
Yeah, got food.
Yeah, and this man still wasn't there, and then he finally pulled up, and I think he was there with us for like maybe 2 hours, and then we had to drive back home, and we caravanned back home, and that was fine. But man, I felt so bad for my bro. He like because he wanted to go so bad, but yeah, so we all got to go together. Next time.
Definitely.
You gotta out. This man's got to travel out and meet up with Emmy, dude.
Bro, right?
Y'all, that would be a killer duo right there. Y'all
That's
would
what I'm saying.
kill it.
This
like,
guy,
even if like he let you like tag along with a shoot that he has or something, or yeah, like
even just like
he's
two photographers and one model.
Yeah, like
he's Emmy. I don't know if he watches the podcast. If you're watching this, I'll just text you.
Killing it, bro.
But like his film work, I love it. It's fire, and I'm like, we're always going back and forth. He's like my go-to photographer just to talk to. This dude's funny too, so I'm like, I just want to meet him in general, especially because we had him on the podcast over a year ago.
For sure.
And he's a football player too. But you know what's crazy is that in his his upcoming season, he's gonna be at Sac State. We have a home game. His school's going against Sac State. I'm like, bet I'm pulling up to that.
That's sick. I'll have to pull up for that too. Right? That's lit. That's cool.
Yeah, just again, don't expect podcasts from us. I really don't know when the next one may be. It might honestly not be till spring break or summer.
Yeah, we do it like every quarter.
Honestly,
it'll be like, okay, we're good for the next few months.
But I'd say for the future to have guests on, I think it'd be good to have Austin on again, just to recap, because he has a bunch of ideas for his business as well. Jazzy on. We have a lot. I've been telling. I don't think I've told you this.
Starting to grow.
Yeah, we both have been like literally with yesterday. She sent me 3 gigs that she got, and I got her one of them. And I literally like every time I see like a model thing, model casting, model walk, I'm like, hey, boom, and then she'll hit them up, boom, they got me in. I'm like, yo,
you got to give me some of your cards actually too.
Business cards?
Yeah,
because
not all the time, but every now and then people will like ask.
Do you know?
Yeah, like, hey, do you know a photographer? Or, like, hey, like you're into photography, can you out? And I don't want to do photo shoots because to me that is like that would stress me out too much. I just like going with the flow.
Really, that's interesting because like for me, any photo shoot is really stress free. I can think.
I feel like I would just get stressed. I don't know, but yeah. Anyways, that and then dang, I forgot what I was gonna say, man. But we gotta have Amir on too. That would be cool.
100%.
I think he would really enjoy that.
I feel like you guys both. We need to get some group project going because I feel like I noticed with both of you guys are really creative ideas when it comes to video. So I think if we did some type of group video project, that would be really cool. But as we are kind of closing out the show here, we still never really figured out if your camera can go past 30.
I don't know.
It probably can.
It probably can. I think it's a setting, and I'm just a dumb amateur. But we're closing out. We have like we have it on timer. I think we have like 40 or whatever. I can't count because I'm dumb. But Eric, David, Digi-Bros? Question mark?
We'll see you guys in the next one. It's been great. Catch y'all later.